Go for it.
Oh, yeah. If you're like me, you want the best for your dog or for Anthony's dog. Maybe you feed them kibble recommended by a vet or fresh food diet. But did you know that these are often low in protein, high in carbs, and are the leading cause of weight, mobility, dental, and skin conditions? Make the switch to raw today. Right now, Mayev is offering $40 off your first order at meetmayev.com/JRVP. Go to meetmayev.com/JRVP. That's spelled MAEV to receive $40 off your first order. That's meetmaev.com/JRVP. For a limited time, Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day trial plus a check of your data to see if your personal information has been leaked online, all for free when you visit aura.com/JRVP. That's AURA.com/JRVP to sign up for a 14-day free trial and start protecting you and your loved ones. Certain terms apply. Finally, it's Talkify. Love this new sponsor. It's time to say goodbye to swiping and bring back the human touch to dating with Talkify. Right now, Talkify is offering our listeners 20% off when you become a client at Talkify.com/JRVP. That's TAWKIFY.com/JRVP for 20% off when you become a client. Talkify.com/JRVP. 3 pre-rolls in the books. I spelled them all out. I'm also going to spell out how the right way to wash yourself, peeing in the drinking supply, and when going after your neighbor goes wrong. All coming up in episode 199 of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project.
JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
How many times, good God, have I not wished it were possible to attack the sun, to deprive the universe of it, or to use it to set the world ablaze? You know, that was my bad this time. I thought when you said 199, I was like, wait, you're wrong, but I'm wrong.
We are so close to 200. I think we've got an update on the fan fiction, the erotic fiction, coming up later in the show. People are getting excited. People are stopping me on the street.
Yeah.
It's going to be a national holiday.
First, I just want to say shout out to you for that Talkify ad. You read that ad only like someone who just wants to cheat on their wife so badly, who is looking for an outlet, and Talkify might be it for you. That I like it. You get kind of like a twinkle in your eye. You know, the twinkle in your eye that you only get when one of my friends kills themselves. That I like to see it in terms of a...
What is that supposed to mean?
It means, we talked about this last time, one of my friends died, and you tried making jokes about how comedians die early. And I said, you always do this. And you're like, yeah, but I said it with a twinkle in my eye. You don't remember this? The fans do. Aaron knows.
Sure.
Yes.
It was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, it was? I guess it just seems like yesterday that my friends died. Do you want to know my quotes from?
Sure.
I'm not going to tell you. It's from the book I'm recommending at the end. It's from a famous book, but that no one has read.
Mm-hmm. You're recommending like a classic. You usually get on me for stuff like that.
No, this is a book about a classic. No, I don't get on you for recommending classics unless it's like a classic that you read in the 8th grade, which you have done.
But sometimes those are underappreciated. I mean, in terms of by like adults. Little Women, yeah, that was a good one. Mm-hmm. Diary of Anne Frank. Mm-hmm. Are those the two that you're really thinking of more than any?
Ethan Frome, yeah, that's it.
I never recommended Ethan Frome.
You should.
Didn't really love it.
It's great. I like a good sled crash at the end.
Spoiler.
Again, good week. Again, we're delayed a week. Gregg doesn't want to talk about that. We're taking off next week, but there will be a podcast next week. Now it's getting very confusing.
I don't want to talk about it because you're terrible at understanding.
The things we're going to talk about
it up like 5 times.
The things we're going to talk about. I can't fuck up my own podcast. Okay, a painter can't fuck up his own painting. It's just different than what you expected. So, but like
that could be our quote.
We're taping this. This is coming out a week later, but we're taping this the night of the NCAA Men's National Championship game. Aaron's alma mater. San Diego State University, which I assume you went to for 2 years?
5.5.
5.5?
Really?
Wow, you embarrassed yourself the other way. 5.5, were you an architecture student?
No, film major.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But it took me a while to figure it out.
Well, San Diego State.
What did it take you a while to figure out?
Actually, if you want to know the full story, I did the math wrong on how many classes I need to take a semester to get out in 4 years. And so I was off by a year.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
That's why I was in remedial math that first semester.
That should be grounds for not letting you graduate.
Yeah, it's a big mistake.
Then again, San Diego State, famously difficult to get through, you know, challenging.
Yeah. It's the Arizona State of California. Yeah, the game's going on right now, pretty much. We don't give a shit. Aaron kind of does, but not that much. You're playing baseball.
I went to
softball.
Yeah, I went to 2 whole games my entire 5.5 years there. So
I do care, actually. I used to be a huge UConn fan. That was like my number one school growing up. Were you with me on the night they won? They beat Duke in St. Petersburg. We randomly were, I believe, for spring break. Mm-hmm. That was the first time any team I rooted for won a championship. That was very exciting.
I don't know if I was with you or I just remember I remember rooting for UConn because of you and being excited that they won.
Maybe in the run up to it, but yeah, I think we were there. It was me and Jamie Osher and Connor and our friends Gilly and Darcy. I'm into this one though because Walker entered our friend Gilly's tournament pool. He did all the picks, did it on Emika's account. And if UConn wins this thing, he wins the pool.
Really?
And so I'm feeling a little conflicted because I'm like, is this going to... He already seems like very into like sports betting for an 8-year-old.
You're passing down your curve.
And he entered it, made all the picks himself. And he's already going to get second place at worst. But I'm not sure what to do. I don't think we want to give him all the money. It's too much money. It's like 47 people in this pool.
How much money is it?
I don't even want to say. We haven't told him. I guess it's fine to say. It's over $600.
That's fine to say. I would suggest give it to me. Give that money to me and teach him a lesson.
We won't do that. We've sold him on this that you're going to share it with everyone. That we're a family and we're all going to get a piece of it. He wanted to break it up. I mean, he even went down to the money. He's like, well, we won't tell him how much is it. If it was $1,000. How about you get 200, Mommy gets 200, Ellis gets 200, and I get 400? I was like, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah. He gets 40%. I mean,
and then he suggested maybe I'll give 200 to Nori, which I thought was sweet.
The live living turtle.
The tortoise.
Seaweed's a dead one.
Seaweed's dead.
Okay.
It's a tortoise.
I would suggest take the money, throw a party, give him like an envelope with some money in it, and then just have a party and be like, "This is you share the wealth. You know, invite your friends over, have some pizzas." You know, hang out and just have a party whenever you win. That way teaches them a lesson of spread the wealth when you get it.
Well, that was what I thought the family thing was about. We don't really have many friends. I guess
don't just give the money to people. Like have a party where everyone gets to have like a family thing, and Walker's go out to dinner and Walker's paying for it. So he feels good by doing something for the family. That it's not just handing cash to people.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you would be a great parent. If it took no day-to-day work and emotional availability.
I would think if I was a parent, I wouldn't have this gambling problem staring me down in the first place.
Well, that's why I didn't want to talk about it. Now it's all totally out of date. Either we're talking about something that didn't happen, or my family's in huge trouble because Walker's running the show now.
Yeah,
Big boss.
True. Let's get our thank yous out of the way. Again, we showed up this week with a present for JRVP. Didn't say if it was for me or for Gregg, so I'm going to take it. That's how it goes. If you want to send something for Gregg, you got to say this is for Gregg.
It is from our friend from Penguin Random House. We know that.
Oh, okay. Then maybe they're just hooking it up. But this is "The King Is Dead" by Walter Tevis. Tevis, I believe. He wrote the Queen's Gambit, which I loved, and then Gregg loved, and now they're sending us his book of short stories. I don't know if it's new or not, but I'm looking forward to reading it.
It's like a new collection. There's a lot of billiard stories. It's a really pretty cover.
Yeah, I don't know how old the Queen's Gambit is. I assumed it was older because of the time period that it takes place in, but maybe it's more recent. And this is a new stuff. I don't know. I have to do some research. But again, we like getting gifts, send things to the All Things Comedy Studio, and say who it's for. If you just send something randomly, I'm taking it. If you want it to go to Gregg, it's got to say Gregg, not Anthony, because if it just says Gregg, I'm taking it. And if you want it to go to Aaron, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Send Aaron a calculator. Last week, we talked about tour announcement dropping. Again, the time means nothing now. It actually dropped today, but since this is airing like a week later, tour announcement is out. I woke up this morning. It got announced at 9 a.m. I woke up at 9:30, and a million texts already from like friends of mine from around the country who were like, "I'm going to this show. I'm going to that show," which is cool. And then I looked, and I forgot. It's been a while since I've announced a tour, and I forget what it's like. And here's what it's like. It's like everyone in the world yelling at you for not going to their city. And a lot of times it's 50% places I'm going to go. Like, again, this is just the fall tour. This is just September through December.
Like LA's not on it, for instance.
LA's not on it yet. Like Minneapolis. People are like, where's Minneapolis? Like, Minneapolis is coming in the spring. Philly coming in the spring. And these are places people are like mad it's not on the tour. It's like, this might be where I tape my special. If you don't see it in the fall tour, maybe it's going in the spring. Maybe it's a special taping, which I'm considering Minneapolis and Philadelphia. Leaning Philadelphia, I'll say that. And a lot of people get mad about that I'm not coming to their city when I've already been to their city. I've seen like, no Phoenix, what the fuck? I went to Phoenix. I went to Phoenix last year. I did 6 shows in Phoenix. Salt Lake City, I went to Salt Lake City. 6 shows in Salt Lake City. So do your research.
Consider yourself lucky, Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
You over-indexed on Jeselnik.
I do what I like, but I'm excited to see how the sale goes. The pre-sale starts Wednesday. Code is JRVP. Tour is called
Once
Bones
again,
and All.
it started like a week ago.
Yeah, but if you're listening to this now, like go and do it. The tickets are now on sale totally. They left some things off the tour dates. There's a couple dates I'm doing in the summer that I left off the major announcement just for the clarity of the poster. But if people want to go, well, when am I coming to Vegas? I'm coming this summer, and I'll be back, I'm sure. But go to my website and check for all the dates. There's a couple others that I'm doing like around Montreal. Montreal hasn't been announced yet. The festival's going to do that. Carnegie Hall in New York has not been announced yet. That'll come down the line.
I was looking for that because that's the one we might try to make a plan around.
Yeah, that'll be on there. It's just getting announced later on, but there will be plenty of stuff. But it is really just people complaining. A lot of like, hey, I'm excited. A lot of high school friends saying, hey, can I get tickets to the show? No, you cannot. No one can. You buy them. Pay double. I want that money. I want to add shows. Buy your tickets now. Don't wait. Buy them now so I can add a show and really fucking rake it in. I want to rake it in. I went to Sacramento last weekend.
So do I have to buy the tickets?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No one gets free tickets.
I mean, I would give you free tickets.
I don't need the free tickets. I'd be happy to buy them.
Make Walker buy them. Make Walker buy the tickets. What's crazy? One of my friends from high school texted me. One of the first people to text me, and was like, "Is it an all ages show at the Benedum Theater in Pittsburgh?" And I was like, "Yeah." I assume she's like, "Yeah, my 17-year-old son wants to come," and I cannot believe someone I went to high school with is a 17-year-old son. We are so old. We are so old. Aaron, how old are you?
40.
So old. Yeah. That's what you should have said. Again, Sacramento was fun. Enjoyed 6 shows in Sacramento. It's a smaller club, but I've got emotional ties to it. One of the first places I featured for Brian Posehn. I've been back a few times. Enjoyed myself. Enjoyed the city. Going to Madison this weekend. Have you ever been to Madison, Wisconsin? No. Great town. Great college town. One of my favorite places. And I love Wisconsin, I think, because I love Milwaukee. Milwaukee's not on these fall tour dates. It will be there in the spring. I love Milwaukee, and I love Madison. But I like doing the club in Madison. It's a fun little club, Comedy on State. It's already sold out. You can't come. If you wanted to go to Madison, actually no, it's too late. You're hearing this a week after I've been there. I'm on to Rochester next.
This is what I'm talking about. This is why you just avoid those things. See, I've been a professional broadcaster for longer than you. I guess that's not true. No. You had the Jeselnik offensive. Mm-hmm. I was on I was like the fantasy guy on NBC's sports network, maybe in 2008. So I guess I beat you. But in terms of like dating podcasts where you pre-tape stuff and you just kind of avoid saying certain like specific days of the week and stuff like that, I've got you beat, and I wouldn't be stepping on my dick like you've been doing this whole show.
No one's stepping on the dick. It's fun to try to let people know where we're coming, our headspace when we're recording, because Gregg's got to take a vacation. Gregg has totally like screwed the pooch on these like this 2-month period of podcast tapings.
I'm so excited. I'm going in the morning. This is the last thing I'm doing.
I'm going to Hawaii.
That's right.
I'm excited about having next week off for sure, which is 2 weeks ago. for you people listening at home. But yeah, excited for Madison. Had fun in Sacramento, and then I get Rochester, New York, and then I have a couple weeks off, which I'm very excited about. Before I bang out the last four club dates. Have a couple weeks off in June, some casinos, and then life completely changes. I got up this morning, went to the chiropractor early, and then had to go to the doctor. I hadn't been to the doctor in years. I went back to my doctor, and I had been in so long that I had to like redo everything. It was like I was like a new patient again for the first time, and it was great. He was like, "You look great, you smell great."
What does that mean? You redo everything?
Like you got to fill out all the paperwork again. It's not like this is my general practitioner, but I had to act as if I was like a new patient and just do everything again. But it was I don't like going to the doctor. I didn't enjoy it. Like you have to do your EKG, and I was like, "Oh, that's painless." It's not. Because they like tape little stickers all over your body, and the ones on your chest, they hurt coming off. Yeah. It's not fun. And he told me next year is I'll be 45, and now I'm in line for the colonoscopy. Mm-hmm.
I got a colonoscopy.
Why'd you get it early?
Just for fun.
Yeah. Wasn't even a doctor?
No, I was having some, now in retrospect, I think stress-related health issues. I talked about this once on the show, like 2 years ago, right at the end of the NFL season, and they were checking it out just for they did that for checking out some problems, but it ended up being kind of nothing.
Nothing, kind of nothing, or nothing.
No, they didn't find anything basically, and
no
now
polyps?
nothing like that. And they now I look back and I think it was stress related because it was when my friend Chris died, and I suddenly started having a lot of physical problems, and so I was getting it checked out.
Yeah, I think I might do my colonoscopy like live on the podcast. Just have Aaron do it.
It's nothing though. It's painless. They just the stuff beforehand where they clean you out. That's painful. Getting your body all clean and ready for it. But showing up there, it's just night.
Yeah,
but you're awake.
But the fact that you've got to be knocked out, I assume when you wake up it hurts.
No, not even in the least.
Not even like sitting down or anything?
It's awkward because it's awkward going to bed because you're just like, okay, I'm there, and then you wake up and you're just on your side, kind of ass out, and there you are.
But they put a hose, they put a camera up you.
But you're dead for all that. You're totally knocked out.
Yeah, but before you do that, you've got to take out all the stuff that's already up there, and that hurts. I've got cameras. I've got different cameras up there that I like to know what's going on.
Stupid.
Aaron, what are you going to do for the game? Are you going to watch it on DVR?
No, I'm.
You're just going to check the score?
I'm just going to see the final.
Why are you're further dating this? I mean, this is a guy who's he's dedicated to softball. That's the only game he cares about. I saw Aaron in the wild this week.
He texted me immediately, and I was
It
like,
wasn't
what?
immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
It wasn't immediately. I was going to Walker's baseball game, and I walk up, and I just see from like 100 feet away the big. Are you okay with your last name being aired on this show?
Yeah, it's fine.
The big Brungard. How do you say your last name?
Brungard.
Jersey from like 100 feet away. I was like, well, there couldn't be any other Brungards around, and walked up, and there was Aaron getting ready for the first of 4 of his softball games.
It's amazing that you would recognize him in the wild, because if I walked in here and Aaron was wearing like a different shirt, I would know who. I'd be like, is Aaron coming? What's going on? Like,
well,
it's
he's told me he
Cardinals.
plays softball there on the same days that Walker has his game. So I guess my eyes were open for it. And he was wearing a jersey that he designed himself. He's a creative guy, Aaron.
Speaking of jerseys people design themselves, I saw a JRVP design. Someone made a sweatshirt and put it on Reddit that I liked. It was like a felt sewn to the sweatshirt. It said JRVP in felt letters, and then it was like a rummy logo. It was just like the nose and the teeth, and it was fucking awesome. So whoever did that, you are the JRVP listener of the week.
Oh, shit. It's never happened.
I'll tell you right now. You're the JRVP listener of the week. Now the JRVP listener of the week. The JRVP listener of the week.
Aaron, did you play that extra loud to torture us for dropping it on you like that?
No.
Okay.
That happened last time. That drop is loud.
I got to dial that in. Yeah.
That's really testing him.
Anything else from the week?
It was pretty chill week.
Yeah.
Getting ready to go.
Yeah, I'm in season right now, so I don't have a lot going on. I'm in season, but I'm looking forward to this weekend in Madison.
What do you mean you're in season?
That's what I call it. That's what I call it when I'm on the road.
But you're going to be in season, for like the next year. It is wild. It's quite a change in your life. I mean, it's been 4 or 5 years. When was the last time you did theaters, like a theater tour?
I think, right until the special came out in 2019, I was doing theaters. So yeah, it's been 3 or 4 years. But I mean, anytime when I'm on the road, it's in season. When I have a month off, it's All-Star break. But I say it's like when it's like, what do I want to do? I've got errands I've got to do, but am I going to do certain things when it's in season? No, I need to rest. I need to take time for me. It's in season. I'll order food instead of going and like walking and picking something up. You know what I mean? Going to a hockey game tomorrow night. Going to see Edmonton Oilers at LA Kings. I'm excited about it. I was going to take. I bought
Kings
tickets.
really blew that one, huh?
What are you talking about?
They lost 4-1
Last night?
tomorrow night.
No.
Our listeners know.
Now, are you? You're doing like the terrible bit where I'm not even going to indulge Gregg on this bit. King's been playing well, but I want to see Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid's
player of the MVP of the year. I want to see him, and I'm trying to like support the Kings a little bit. I'll be rooting for the Kings. I want to see a great game. I want to see McDavid score. I was going to go. I thought it was last week, and I'm like, Liz couldn't go. Liz got work, so she couldn't go with me. And I'm like, who should I take? And I text John Mulaney. I haven't hung out with John Mulaney in a long time. And I'm like, Mulaney, you want to go to a game? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. That sounds fun. And then the next day, he's like, hey, is the game at 6 tomorrow? You said 7:30, but my assistant said it's at 6. And I'm like, that's weird. I look and check. And the game was a week later than I said it was. And he was like, okay, so John and I had dinner. John is out of town this week. He can't go with me. So I'm like going down the list of like friends that I can take to a hockey game. Because it's not, I've got a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I've got a decent amount of friends. But the amount of friends I have that I could take to a hockey game and think everyone's enjoying themselves it gets shorter. It gets a shorter list. But I'm going tomorrow with Rick Ingram. A little name drop for you.
Oh.
Do you know who Rick Ingram is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Kansas City's own.
He is from Kansas City?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know him that well. Well, I'll find out more. I'll ask him where he's from. Do you know who Rick Ingram is?
No.
Really funny comedian. Hilarious guy, big Comedy Store dude. He was opening for Chris Rock on this last tour. He took the Jeselnik slot on Chris Rock's latest tour. But a really cool guy. Looking forward to that game. So if you're at the game 2 weeks after you hear this, 2 weeks before you hear this, give me a little shout. And now it's time for Did We Get Any Notes?
Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes?
Here's a note for All Things Comedy. I almost pissed away 51 weeks of sobriety just now by going to the kitchen and taking out a George Lopez cream soda, which has alcohol in it. I was about to open it up and I just double checked and it was like, warning, this product contains alcohol. Do you know what I'm talking about, Aaron?
So you thought it was a liquid death?
No, I thought it was an orange. I was like, oh, George Lopez orange soda. Like it said, like orange cream soda or whatever.
Yeah, they're beers.
Yeah.
It's orange cream flavored.
Yeah, maybe don't have those out. Like right in the water fridge.
Okay.
Anyway,
The creamer also very old. I put some in my iced coffee, and it just
really?
looks ugly, and now the coffe's all messy.
yeah, I'm
So
drinking
let's
a
freshen it up.
Coke that I found.
Freshen this up.
Yeah, let's do a whole refresh. Other than that, this is your last. You cannot, if you're listening to this, you cannot submit anymore to the JRVP erotic fan fiction contest. So stop doing that if you're going to. We've got a ton of them. I'm going to start reading them this week and come up with the ones we're going to read on the air. If they're all great, we might spend the entire episode reading those. If they're not, maybe 20 minutes tops. But has Ellis written hers?
I need to follow up. That's my fault. She's been using the hell out of her typewriter that I bought her. She's like writing stories. She won't let me look at them, but I just hear that click clacking away all the time in her room, which is pretty badass.
That's awesome
for a parent. But I don't think she's been working on this story. But that's on me for not reminding her. And we got to get it going.
I'm excited. If your daughter became like a famous writer, or even just like a great writer who's not famous but is great and respected, that's, I mean, come on, that's my goddaughter. Yeah, is that the number one like future you can think of for your daughter?
I mean, I'm bad at thinking about the future, but that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Sure. She said she's wanted to be a writer her whole life, so it would be kind of amazing for it to actually happen. But she is only 11 years old, so I'm not putting.
Would you rather? Because a writer's life seems like kind of misery. You know what I mean? Would you be happy if she was like a great writer, a respected, famous writer, but miserable the way great writers are? Or would you rather like?
No, all I care. I mean, yeah, I don't care what she does. I just just want her to be happy. You don't get too into it. She's very into like genre and fantasy and manga, and so maybe she can just be like I feel like manga genre writers are happy. They're just banging out one sort of fantasy book a year. I think they're happy. They have a good home life.
Manga. And that was. Did we get any notes?
Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Did we get any notes?
Now it's time to take it down to a place that never gets any notes and is never sober, no matter what George Lopez tries to pour down their throat. It's Email Corner.
Email corner. Emails are a thing. Email corner. Emails. It's email corner.
Guys, emails are a thing. No one can deny that. I don't give a fuck what happens. Emails are a thing. And we like to let people send emails into us at JRVP Junior Vice President at gmail.com and let Miss Kim go through them and then send some to me. And I send some to Gregg. And then we read them here on the air. We got 3 this week. And you know what? Someone sent, I didn't use any of the questions this week, but someone had just like an email that just had 3 different questions. Like 3 weird questions that I almost chose. And maybe just took one of them. But I like that. I like people just giving us weird, random. Like one was like, if you were going to fight Floyd Mayweather and your family's life depended on it, what would you listen to in the locker room? What one song would you listen to in the locker room before you went out to fight? And I was like, that's a pretty good question. They were like that I did not choose them, but I like that style.
What was the answer? You did choose them. You just said it.
No, I didn't put it on here.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't.
I'm just saying.
I didn't give it that much
on
thought.
the show. That's choosing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I talked about it. That was the one I remembered. I would have chosen the other 2. There was one I really liked, but it was like, you know what? These are meatier. Let's go into meaty.
Maybe The Rat by the Walkmen. That'd be a good one.
It's not bad.
First one asks if you've ever seen the UK show Taskmaster. If you haven't, he's going to summarize it. 5 comedians compete in various strange tests to earn points and impress the Taskmaster. The Taskmaster is Greg Davies and his assistant Alex Horn. The Taskmaster gets the final say in all decisions. He's fair, but also ruthless. He's always great berating the players. I can't help but think Anthony would be a perfect host for the American Taskmaster, and you could even have Gregg as his assistant. If you 2 were approached, would you consider this?
Say Taskmaster again.
I don't want to keep saying it.
You know there's a
Taskmaster.
K. You know there's a K in there, right?
Taskmaster.
Yeah, Taskmaster.
Taskmaster. It's really bringing out my lisp.
Say perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. You were saying perfect without the T.
Taskmaster.
You leave out consonants.
It's a Western Massachusetts thing. You don't say like the consonant in the middle of the name.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton is another way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave that T out.
Mm-hmm. Where are we?
Los Angeles.
That's right. Taskmaster.
Taskmaster.
I've never seen Taskmaster. I have heard of it. I've heard of it a bunch. I feel like they are trying to bring an American Taskmaster. Maybe they've already done it, and it's just like one of those shows that just kind of fails. Like there was a show called, I can't even remember. It was like a show where guys had like cameras on their heads. Do you know what I'm talking about, Aaron?
You're gonna have to give me a little more than that.
I think it was like a British show where these guys had like, it was like from their point of view, literally. And I kept being like, we're going to bring it back to America. They're really trying to take some British show that like 8 people watched but loved it and make it an American thing. I would absolutely do this. This sounds like a fun thing. I would love to host a game show with comedians and be kind of a dick. I would love it. I don't know if you guys ever saw the show Reality Bites Back. It was a show, a reality show that Comedy Central did during a writer's strike. And Michael Ian Black was the host, and he hated every comic on that show so much. And it came through in his performance. And I was like, that seems like so much fun. That I would love to do this. And if Gregg was my minion, if you will, that would be even better. That might be a bridge too far for the general public. But if they bring Taskmaster in, I would absolutely host that. I would love to host a game show, like a good one, not a bad one. I've been offered bad game shows, but this one seems cool, so I would happily do it.
Yeah, my goal is to be, your assistant, to move in on Miss Kim. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just take over all the menial jobs you're like looking for me to do. Just totally go Anthony's sidekick. There have been some layoffs at NFL Network lately, so I need to start being a little more versatile.
I get it. You're sick of your wife, but I think the podcast department at the NFL Network is safe for now.
You know what? I checked IMDb as we were talking, and Taskmaster literally just debuted on, I believe, Amazon Prime. I am not sure. Tom Gleason is the host. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Tom Cashman is his assistant. I don't know if this is bringing it back, but yeah, I believe it's an American version, or it's an updated version that's on Amazon Prime, because the original is from 2015, and this is an updated version now.
All right, well, they blew it. They could have had an edgy show, and they decided to go with, like, fucking Whose Line Is It Anyway rejects.
Oh, wait, they did it in 2018 as well with Reggie Watts as the host.
There you go. I don't know. I should have researched this better before I chose the question. But yeah, give me a job is what I'm saying.
I think that role would be perfect for you. Choosing what everyone has to do, being the rule guy. Anthony, if you were a bachelor, what would be the highlights, lowlights of the season? This is from our listener, Dan Mearns. He also says, bring back Chris Harrison. I don't know if that would be your first order of business if you were the Bachelor.
Yeah, I never watched The Bachelor when Chris Harrison was the host. I only know Jesse Palmer Bachelor. I don't miss him at all, but I hear people liked him. I hear he was good. He deserved to lose his job. I think I would be a terrible Bachelor. I would be the worst. Like in the beginning, when you have to meet everyone, you have to stand there while like 50 women come out of a limo like one by one and like have a little moment with them. I'd be terrible at that. I wouldn't have zero patience for their bullshit. Like they come out and try to do something memorable, like my name is whatever, and like they'll like do some like try to get you to remember their name, or like here I'm from a girl this year who made it really far. It was like I'm from like Maine. Here have some maple syrup, and like made this guy do a shot of maple syrup. One's like I'm from Seattle. Here's a cup of coffee, and it's like I'll drink your coffee. Like I'd be really bad at that. All the women would be like, what the fuck? Like he hates me already, and they would be right. And then that first night when you've got to meet everyone and they're all trying to jockey for attention and they're all like really insecure, I'd be really bad at that. I'm sure I would tell like 8 women I love them the first night just to get them away from me. Just be like, hey, listen, I'm going to choose you. It's a done deal. It would be all that would be awful. I would be bad at meeting their families. I would, because they have to when you meet the families, you have to pretend like there's not other women. You're meeting, I think there's like 5 women whose families you meet, or at least 3. There's 3 women whose families you meet toward right at the end. No, 4 families you meet, and I'd be terrible at that.
Seems a little premature.
What do you mean?
Like meeting the family at that point while you're still on the show.
Well, you meet the family, and then you have fuck week, where it's fantasy suites, where you have sex, and then you have to choose. So you meet 4 families, then eliminate 1 immediately, which is hilarious. And then you have fuck week, where you fuck 3 of them, and then eliminate 1 of them, and then you choose between the final 2. And it's hilarious. I mean, the whole way you're just like
I get it, but it's like when I met Emika's family, for instance, she was like, are you sure you want to meet them? Because like in Asian culture, it's like you don't bother to meet the family unless you're going to get married probably. Mm-hmm. Which seems like a better way to do it. Just families off until that point.
Yeah, unless,
not when you're on the fucking Bachelor.
Yeah, but if you're traveling to their home country and it's like they're there, why not meet them? If you're like in the meeting in the same town, you're just going to see families. I understand meeting a family is a big deal. I once broke up with someone after they met my family, and they're like, why did you have me meet your family? And I was like, I was going to a wedding. What was I going to do? Like, I didn't think of it as a big deal, but I realized now that it is. But I would be a terrible Bachelor in every single way. I was
waiting for the things you were going to be good at.
None of them. None of them.
What about Fuck Week?
Terrible. Terrible at Fuck Week. Like the guy this week was terrible at Fuck Week. I'd be telling him in a completely different way. Because it would be impossible. I would not be able to hide who was my favorite. That's the part of being the Bachelor is like, I feel like you must know right away which one you want. And maybe some surprises happen, but it's like, I know that it's like between these two or whatever, but you've got to play the game with everyone else. And I'd just be so bad at that. Especially fuck week, when you're like, I only really want to fuck this one. Or maybe I want to fuck 2 out of the 3, but I know I want to marry the 3rd. Like it's a weird, I would be really bad at it. Everyone would be crying. Everyone.
Shout out to our regular listener, Alec, good friend of mine, who said he was enjoying hearing you starting to watch The Bachelor because he's been on a similar journey with this season. And he felt like he connected with you over that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch The Bachelorette this year. I don't think I've never watched Bachelor in Paradise, but I will always tune in for The Bachelor. I enjoy it.
Wow. Mike asks for us to settle a dispute between him and his wife. What is the proper way to transfer soap to the body? Loofah? Is that how it's pronounced? Washcloth? Or a bar of soap directly?
Now, this is close to my heart because I've been staying in a lot of hotels. It's in season. And hotels don't have soap anymore. Don't have bars of soap anymore. I'm a bar of soap guy. All right? And every hotel has just that liquid soap that I do not like. I hate it. I don't know why anyone would have it in their own home. You want a bar of soap. And I like the bar of soap with like rocks in it. The exfoliating soap. Like the man soap. I get like, it's like Dove for men. And it's just like, it's scratchy. And you just like rub that shit down. I don't use a washcloth. And I'm not a loofah guy. I understand like loofahs seem like they're for girls. I know they're for guys too, but they're for girls. What do you use?
I totally disagree. I think this is like a white person thing, and now I've learned the better way to do it, which is absolutely like a sponge, like a mesh sponge. I guess you would call it a loofah, but it's basically a mesh sponge that you put the soap on.
That's a loofah.
It should not be direct. It just is so much more sanitary, first of all. Second, if you're do you use the same bar of soap as Liz, for instance?
Liz uses the same bar of soap as me. Like it's guy soap, and I think there's
that
different
doesn't seem right. Like there's hairs get stuck on the thing. Like you'll go to someone's house, and there's just like an old bar of soap with like a little hair sticking out. That's disgusting. The loofah, and it's really just like a sponge. When I think loofah, that's like a little brick, but this is just kind of like a mesh sponge that you put the soap on.
They're both loofahs.
It gets way more sudsy. You get lots of sudsy. You get cleaner. There's like something in between the soap and you. It's more sanitary. Everything about it is better.
But soap is already clean. Like, yeah, if there's a hair on it, you wash the hair off. Like, I wash the bar of soap so there's no hairs on it.
It's gross.
Before I put it back in the little tub. But I don't. Maybe loofahs have to
There's
get
little
you
chunks. You put together the soap chunks.
I don't like liquid soap.
They fall down.
I'm gonna feel rocks in a bar of soap up and down my body. Sometimes I'll lather up my hands and then wash parts of my body if I don't want to rub the bar on it. But I'm not a loofah guy. I'm not against the loofah. I'm really against just like the regular soap. And again, washcloths. I've never done it.
Here's why: because it's like you're sticking that thing in who knows where. And then your partner's just using it. It doesn't. You're sticking that bar of soap up your butt.
No, you're not. Liz asked me. Liz the other day was like, Anthony, like, do you wash your butt in the shower? And she said it in a way that I was like, this is a test that I have not prepared for. Let me just answer honestly. And I was like, yeah, at the end of I wash everything. Let me go through my whole routine, okay? If I'm washing my hair and everything, because I wash my hair, I'd say 2 or 3 times a week. The longer it gets, the more I got to wash it. But I don't wash my hair every time I'm in the shower. If I'm going to wash my hair, I get in the shower, wet everything, put the shampoo in, get the shampoo going on.
Granular, this detail.
Get the shampoo in, get the beard shampoo. It's a different kind of shampoo. Put that in the beard, and then I put the soap on, the special face soap on. Just whatever. It's like over-the-counter shit. It's regular, normal stuff. And then I wash all that off. And then I get the conditioner, put that in my hair. With the conditioners in my hair, then I get the soap out, lather everything down, soap everything up, and then at the end, I take the bar of soap and I run it in my hand so I get a bunch of soap on both hands. I take one hand and get it right up there. And I go right up there and I make sure it's super clean. I get everything out. Then I wash that hand off in the shower and I take the last hand and I take that soap and I put it on my hand to wash that hand off. And then I rinse everything off and then I'm done. But Liz had said there was a thing on TikTok where guys were like, I don't touch my own butt. Like they just put soap on their back and let it run down their butt, but they don't ever touch their butt to clean their butt. And it's like, they think it's like gay to touch your own butt. I don't know why. I don't know how homophobic you'd have to be worried about touching your own butt with your own hands in the shower, but I get in there.
I think it's so much better. I think if you went loofah, I don't know why loofah is like the hard bar looking thing, but if you just went sponge, like a sudsy sponge, you wouldn't go back if you did that for a little bit. It's much better. I remember when this was like a little bit of a topic on Twitter too, that like a shocking amount of people said they don't even wash their legs. They have the same theory that they just
Trickle down.
That's the most insane thing I've ever heard.
I don't think so. I think it's okay if you're not like covered in mud or whatever, it's super sweaty. I like to get hands on that shit. I want to know it's clean.
It's not washing it. I mean, it's fine. But it's not washing it. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it just trickles down.
It's still getting rinsed. There's soap getting on there. Depends on how dirty your legs are.
You better be spreading those cheeks open. Let that water and soap get in there.
Aaron, what's your deal?
I use a body wash with a loofah. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
When you say loofah, do you mean like the actual like loofah, or do you mean like the little like sponge with holes in it?
It's a mesh. Yeah, it's a mesh.
Yeah, but you call it a loofah.
I call that.
I didn't know that.
I
didn't know that you call that a loofah.
I call it a loofah.
Until this question.
They're all loofahs. But yeah, listen. You want to be a man? You get the bar soap with rocks in it. Rub it on your body.
Get it.
You want to be a half man, half girl. You want to be a merman. Then you get the loofah.
You want to get cleaner. I mean, washcloths is okay too. I didn't realize this was like a white person type of thing, or even in like an American type of thing. Because the rest of the world, they think that's crazy. Everyone's using sponges. Everyone's using loofahs. Everyone's using washcloths.
Let them. I like my bar soap with the rocks.
It's like the same people who only wash their towels. Like, how often do you wash your shower towel?
Once a week.
Okay. It took me a while to realize that you have to wash it more than. I mean, I granted did not know this stuff. You have to wash it. You should wash it often.
Yeah, I mean, in college you'd have like the towel that just like it would smell pretty bad. I think that's a cost of doing business. But yeah, I like my bar soap. I'll never give it up. I'll never give it up. And that was Email Corner.
And that was Email Corner. Diamonds around the world unite. Diamonds around the world unite.
And now it's time for
Ad copy.
I'm excited about this sponsor coming
Seem
on
excited.
because it's the first sponsor for Rummy we've had. Maeve Dog Foods.
I want to say Maeve. It's not
Maeve.
But I don't know if that's right.
No, that's right. I think that's right. It's spelled Maeve. You go to maev.com/JRVP to receive $40 off your first order. And I was excited just reading about this because I know you always want the best for your dog, and you've got that like kibble that vets recommend, or you just like buy at the store. But those aren't often very healthy. And Maeve kind of takes care of that with a raw food diet. And that sounded like something that was complicated, but it's not. It's just in a bag like regular dog food, raw dog food. And there's a lot of health benefits to going with Maeve. I know you want the best for Rummy and that he loves it.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody wants the best for their dog, but dogs can be picky. That's my thing with Rummy. Is like, and plus you go in and you're like, hey, what's the best dog food? What should I not do? And they'll be like, oh, kibble's bad. Grains are bad. They're like, no, grains are good. It depends on where you're getting your grains from. Too much protein is bad. It's crazy. But everyone agrees that raw dog food is the best. And if your dog likes it, you are lucky. Like, then your dog just wants to eat raw dog food all the time. This food, the Maeve food, Rummy loved. They sent me some. I went online. I answered some questions. What kind of food? What I want for Rummy. I think I did the anxiety diet. And he ate it right the fuck up, and that's a high bar for Rummy. So if your dog's choosy, if he's picky, if you want to make them healthier, get Maeve. They send it right to your door.
Be honest, you want to feed your dog a better diet. It's an investment in their health, their longevity, prevents future vet bills. Maeve comes in, it has unprocessed, low-carb, high-protein, raw meat diet. I mean, that just sounds like the type of thing Rummy should be eating. I don't know what that phone call was, but I like it.
Yeah, where's that?
Potential spam.
Was that you, Aaron?
My phone is, hooked in.
That's good. Thanks for letting us know what it was with the second interruption.
People love Maeve. They have 1,000 five-star reviews. So do their dogs, especially the notorious picky eaters. Most dog parents see results in 28 days or less. You can see benefits from better breath to reduce itching to shedding. and shedding, reduce shedding to regular bowel movements, and maintaining a healthy weight. Make the switch to Raw today. Right now, Mave is offering $40 off your first order at meetmave.com/JRVP. Go to meetmave.com/JRVP. That's spelled MEETMAEV to receive $40 off your first order. That's MEAV.com/JRVP. Get that protein-rich raw food. Just as easy as kibble.
It's good.
Know what else is good? Talkify. Yeah, I mean, it's for everyone, Talkify. I don't think I would be a great candidate because I am a married man. I know you were trying to make a joke at the beginning, but I feel like the matchmakers at Talkify would be like, no, this guy has a bunch of red flags. Like, he seemed like he'd be a good husband, but he already is a good husband. And so they would just cancel me out. It's basically a matchmaking service, Anthony, that does the legwork for you if you're in the dating pool and matches you up with other people that use the service.
I think it sounds like a great idea. And again, I've never used a dating service like this, but if I was going to, I've heard the complaints about them. And this one seems like it solves a lot of them. You just never know. You're weeding through losers. You're weeding through everyone lying to you about their picture and everything. Like, have someone, like, be a middleman. And it's like if your friends try to set you up with someone and you're like, tell me everything. And you get to talk to different friends. Like, okay, Katie's going to tell me one thing about this guy. Jenny's going to tell me something else about this guy. And then you figure it out. Talkify.
They select and screen potential match candidates for you. They do the background checks, video interviews. They ask tough questions that are too awkward for first date. And then, they make the introductions. And they're committed to helping you find your match. 80% of their clients met their person within the first 12 matches. It's a process, but they're very big on privacy, on security, and they really help you find your match. Why were you laughing at yourself?
I sound like an idiot. But listen, you've tried the rest. Now try the best. Talkify.
It's never been used before. Right now, Talkify is offering our listeners 20% off when you become a client at Talkify.com/JRVP. That's TAWKIFY.com/JRVP for 20% off when you become a client. Talkify.com/JRVP. Country's #1 modern matchmaking service.
Don't just talk. Talkify.
It's pretty good.
Don't justify. Talkify.
Okay.
That's good. Aaron, write that down. Don't justify. Talkify.
Anthony, do you know that your personal info is out there for anyone to find?
Yes, I do.
That's where...
Especially Talkify.
Yeah, Aura can come in. Data brokers are out there scraping public tax records, selling that information legally. It's legal, making it accessible to everyone. There's always new data breaches in the news. In 2022 alone, there was over 1,800 data breaches. And so Aura comes in. They're an all-in-one online safety solution that helps protect you and your family from identity theft, financial fraud, and online threats before they happen. This stuff scares the hell out of me, and Aura is helping me by signing me up. It's very easy to sign up for Aura. You put in your email address, all your passwords, and they get your social security number, other sensitive information, and they make sure that if any data breach is out there and finds any of that information, you will receive an alert in real time, whether you're a victim of ID theft, anything else. They can figure it out with their white glove fraud resolution team. They're wearing those white gloves.
Hey, let me put it like this. Lose the paranoia. Get Aqua for you. Aura for you. Lose the paranoia.
Aquaphor is
get Aura for
totally
you.
different. That's pretty good.
They're very similar.
It's very easy. It's like a very user-friendly website app, like the login, all that stuff. Obviously makes you feel safer. There's nothing scarier. I don't know if you've ever had like your information stolen and stuff. This has happened to me, and there is nothing worse than that. Aura also can help reduce annoying robocalls, telemarketers, and junk mail by sending takedown requests on your behalf regularly. For a limited time, Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day trial plus a check of your data to see if your personal information has been leaked online, all for free when you sign up at aura.com/JRVP. That's AURA.com/JRVP. Aura.com/JRVP. You get 14-day free trial. Start protecting you and your loved ones. AURA.com/JRVP. Certain terms apply, so be sure to check the site for details. Also has those parental controls, which I like as my kids are starting to become online.
What about Aura? What are you waiting for? And that was.
Ad copy.
Let's get to headlines.
Let's get the headlines. Let's get the headlines. Let's get the headlines.
So I mentioned I'm flying out of LAX tomorrow.
So
And hope to have as much fun as the Delta passenger there last week.
what time's your flight tomorrow?
10 in the morning.
Okay.
You just hopeful that you could have seen your godkids for the first time in a long time. Last week, a Delta passenger was at LAX. He was supposed to go to Seattle, but instead he opened the plane door, activated the emergency slide, and slid down that fucker like a boss.
I see. What happened to this guy? What happened to him? What did they do? Did they catch him? Because the last time I remember this happening, it was a JetBlue flight attendant who got hit in the head. Someone was like taking their baggage out, hit his head with the bag, and his head was bleeding. And he flipped out. The passengers were unruly. He flipped out, ripped the thing. Slide goes down. He slides down the slide, and he takes off. And they arrested him at home later on that day. Did this guy get away, or did he
No.
slide down and just hang out down there?
He slid down and then jumped onto the back of a baggage cart. And yeah, not a good hiding place. And the airport crew basically just like kept him there until the police arrived, and they arrived quickly.
And what was his excuse for doing this?
Little uncertain. It's uncertain why he got upset with what was going on the plane, but he quickly and without a lot of drama, it sounds like, from the different people on the plane. They said that everyone on the plane, the stewardess and everyone, like, handled it well, explained everything. And the guy actually didn't raise his voice or flip out or anything, but he wasn't happy about something, and he just quietly, like, walked to it and just did it. And everyone was like, what the hell just happened?
So it wasn't like a drunk thing. He
No.
wasn't wasted. It wasn't like he didn't get in a fight.
Might be like a mental health thing.
Yeah, like
there
what-
was a conversation, and it was getting, he was unhappy about something and was talking to the stewardess, and then suddenly he was gone.
I mean, I'm okay with this. I think, like, while you're sitting on the ground, you should be able to pull that thing and bounce out of there. Because it's not like, if you're like, hey, I really need to get off this plane. If you're, what's the thing when the walls are closing in? Claustrophobia. If you're claustrophobic and you're like, oh, I can't do this, I got to get out by any means necessary, and you're on the ground, go for that slide. The slide, it's a fun way to get off the plane. You should be able to use it while we're still on the ground and with no consequences. I mean, they should make the plane.
I mean, it does delay the flight for a couple hours. Everyone had to get off the plane for some reason. I don't know.
Sure. But if you're paying all those baggage fees, like, the airline should take care of you better. The airline should have a way to get that slide back in really quickly, let people off right away, or make a twisty slide that goes down. Maybe it's like, if you didn't crash, but one person wants to get out. There should be a fun way that you can just be like, no, I'm pulling the cord and getting off this plane before you take off.
I feel like sliding down big inflatable slides is kind of lost on kids. I think adults should be able to do it more often.
True.
Like, I've been able to do it a few more times since I have kids. You go down with them occasionally on these big things, and it brought me back to Western Massachusetts, the Big E, and they had a huge big slide, and, like, I'd love to do that. Love to do that right off my plane.
Let me ask you this. Okay, you're on this plane. You're just ready to go to, like, you're going to a work thing. A guy next to you, mental health issues, gets up, pulls the cord, goes down the slide. It's a couple hours till you get on another plane. Do you go down the slide with him?
Yeah, and I take my kids, and they're not going to get mad at you if you take the kids.
That's what I'm wondering. Would they be like, hey, you're in trouble too, if you use the slide even though you didn't pull the slide? Is it like, hey, we don't like that?
At that point, it's just trying to make chicken salad. You know what I mean?
I do. That's exactly like making chicken salad. Aaron, would you use the slide? Would you be able to resist using the slide?
Yeah, I'd resist it, but
You'd want to?
yeah. I mean, who doesn't?
I would think if I did that, if I pulled the cord, did the slide, I think my temptation would be to climb back up and do it again.
There's always that kid
Yeah.
that's a little annoying at the bottom of the thing, and he's trying to climb up, and it's dangerous. Like he might get a boot to the face. You would be that kid.
Absolutely. I'd probably go back and wait in line again. But I don't see what the problem is. If you're in the air, when people are in the air and someone freaks out and tries to open the emergency exit, like that's no deal. That's no deal, Gregg. You got to go to jail forever if you try that shit. That's terrifying. If you're still on the ground, it's a couple hours delay, whatever. You got to get off that plane.
Yeah, they showed pictures of him. He was wearing like a kind of like an ugly Christmas sweater type looking thing, which immediately is a bit of a red flag in April. Like it was like one of those like very bright sort of holiday types of sweaters, which why are you wearing that in March?
But I've been on the plane next to someone who sucks, and I've been like, if you don't like this, pull the fucking slide. Get out of here. I'd rather someone pull the slide and delay me for hours than have to sit next to some asshole who's complaining, like, the flight attendants think they're the pilots all of a sudden. I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want it. Get out of here. It's 2 weeks ago. Aaron, we got a noisy chair.
Oh, we've got more than one.
We got to get new chairs, and I don't understand why All Things Comedy hasn't changed the set at all. At all. Nothing.
The picture's up.
The picture's up, yes. That's Aaron's done some things, but this wood wall's
Even the
got to go.
picture's a downgrade. We've gone from America's favorite dead turtles, seaweed, to Elizabeth Wurtzel, who, R.I.P., but seaweed's more recently.
We could do. No, I don't think. I think Elizabeth Wurtzel outlived seaweed. I was talking to someone the other day. The guy came up to me and he goes, "Hey, my mom wants to talk to you." And I was like, "Sure." And the mom comes over and says, "Hey, I'd love to listen. I'd love to watch JRVP, the Jeselnik Rosenthal Vanity Project."
JRVP. Junior Vice President.
But every time I try to watch the YouTube video, that wood wall looks like such shit that I have to turn it off. And I would love, and all my friends would love, to watch it instead of listen to it. But until you guys change that, until All Things Comedy gets on the stick and gets rid of the wood, I'm not going to watch it. You know who that was?
Who?
Roger Goodell's mom.
Yeah, the first few seasons, we had the Rosenthal and Jeselnik Vanity Project, RJVP. And, certainly early days at Comedy Central, it was a lot of you pushing back against the companies that were providing the podcast format for us. Mm-hmm. And it's been too calm here at All Things Comedy.
It's been great. We've signed a lifetime contract. We're here forever. We're never going to
We're one episode away from 200.
Mm-hmm. We're into it. But you guys, like, just as a matter of pride, okay? Listen, maybe Steph Tolev puts up with this shit, but I'm not gonna. Okay, maybe Eddie Pepitone doesn't give a shit what's behind him, but we do. All right?
He's no longer here.
At All Things Comedy or just in the studio?
At All Things Comedy.
Really? Where did he go?
Some smaller place. Just
Huh.
so
How about the
he-
Sklar Brothers? I did their show recently.
Did he leave because of the wall?
No.
A 57-year-old government employee.
You know what? George Lopez used to be here. You know why he's not?
Oh, God.
Because of the wall. He just left a bunch of booby-trapped sodas around and took the fuck off because of that wall.
A 57-year-old government employee near Baton Rouge, Louisiana, has been fired after being caught peeing into the city's local water supply.
Listen, I assume this is the second story I've heard about something like this, where there was a kid in Portland, I believe, or definitely Oregon, who went as a prank and peed in the water supply, and they drained it all. He got like arrested and in trouble, and they drained it all. If you've got an open water supply, people are peeing in it 100%, for sure. You just have to like take that risk. You drink water.
Isn't all water supply open? But this isn't. This was someone who worked at the water supply, like, for the city. It was an inside job.
But the thing I loved about it was there's the picture of him getting caught and him realizing what's happening to him. Like, was he just like going about his day at work and I assume he was alone and thought, oh, let me just pee in this,
No.
and then looks over. Tell me the story. Tell me what happened.
He absolutely planned it all out. He worked at the in Ascension, Paris. It was near Baton Rouge, and yeah, he was a city employee. And there's a large pool filled with water, surrounded by yellow guardrails, and all this stuff. So he works for the city, and he is about to go pee in the water supply. He knows the camera that's on the water supply, and he turns the camera up so that you can't see the water. Goes and pees in the water. Meanwhile, he's like looking around, like making sure everything's fine, looking all guilty, not realizing there's other surveillance cameras around the property. Like, he knew where the camera was that was actually right on the water supply that was like owned by the city, the security camera for the city. But they had other surveillance cameras around that he didn't realize was even there. So he moves the camera, he pees in the water, then he finishes peeing, and he puts the camera back down. And they end up looking at this on different surveillance videos. They end up going back a month and realizing he had done it more than once.
I mean, if you are turning a camera around in order to pee in the reservoir, that's already too much. You deserve to go to jail. If you're just like, I gotta pee, let me just pee in this reservoir. But it's easier to go to the bathroom than it is to turn a camera around to go to the bathroom.
Well, no, they said like where he worked, there's a bathroom right there. Sure. He had to like walk outside the building, walk a little bit over, and to find this place.
You're not peeing out of convenience. You're peeing to get back at your ex-wife, for sure. You're peeing to get back at all your friends.
It's civil disobedience. It's just some sort of thing that he thought would be important to do. I don't know.
It's throwing your cigarette in the apple cider. Okay? It's against the cider house rules. Everyone knows this. Tobey Maguire knows this. I just think that you'd have to. It's like a Secret Service level of test you've got to take to be trusted near a water supply, because the temptation to urinate in it must be so great. They should have women, and only women, let anywhere near a water supply, because it's harder for them to pee. It's harder for them to squat over and pee in the water supply, whereas guys, they can just arc that shit over. I want to hear from this guy. I want to know and why did they check the cameras? Was it because he turned one around? Because you don't just watch security footage all day long. You only watch if it's like something happened. Did something happen?
That's a good question. I don't know how he initially
someone was like, this water tastes like apple juice. Check the tape.
I don't know. I think someone reported him that worked there that he was doing something. I think he got reported from one of his coworkers, I believe, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I don't know what you're really getting out of this, but the funniest part of the story to me, and by the way, I'm still recovering from you absolutely spoiling the ending to Cider House Rules, the movie adaptation of the John Irving classic.
It's not the end. Have you never seen the movie?
I've never seen the movie or read the book. No.
You don't fuck with the apple cider, man. Get it out. I'm in the cider business. What business you in? I'm in the doctor business. That's the only lines I can remember.
There was like a lot of great
Good night,
movies.
you princes of Maine, you kings of New England. I think I nailed that one. Yeah. Where's my Oscar?
Like
for best supporting
99
actor?
had like a lot of great movies, and I just remember Cider House Rules being like an annoying entrant into the Oscars that year.
It was good.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
The funniest part of the story to me is that parish officials said the public was not in danger, and that samples showed that the water quality is in good standing and meets all safe water drinking requirements. They didn't do anything. Everyone's just drinking that pea water.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be okay. It's way diluted, and you just assume any water you drink has got a little bit of pee in it. Whether it's animal pee,
why would you assume
pee.
that? I don't think this is right. He's been doing this, it sounds like, for who knows how long. I guess what are you going to do? You're not going to just turn off the water. You need water, but it's problematic. In other cases where this has happened, people peeing in the water supply, they have like stopped and refreshed the water a little bit, but they're not doing that in Baton Rouge.
You don't want to know. It's like, wasn't there a story a while back about a guy who like peed in someone's water bottle and she got like an STD from it?
I believe he came in it.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
Thanks for backing us up. He came in it. Would you rather drink water that you knew a guy peed into?
Yes.
Or that a guy jerked off into?
Yeah.
Pee for sure.
Yeah, that's right. So there's no real debate here. If you had said, well, ejaculation is less of it, that's the wrong answer. You're gonna get your tongue pregnant.
So it's always bad when you accidentally kill yourself, but if you are going to accidentally kill yourself, at least blow up your noisy neighbor's apartment in a fire, because now they can't be noisy anymore. And that's what's happened to a 34-year-old British woman who died after pouring gasoline over a hated neighbor's apartment before an unexpected explosion led to her untimely demise.
So, okay, I did not read the story. So this woman's like, she's mad at her neighbors being too loud. She's
Other way around. The neighbor was always complaining about her for being too loud, for playing music, for yelling at her kids, for like taking out the garbage early in the morning. This guy was always complaining to the whoever owned the apartment building about this woman. She was getting mad at him.
So she goes over and this is on a house. Like he's just dumping like a cup of gasoline, just pouring it all over the house.
It's a woman. Yeah, she broke into the neighbor's apartment, I think, with a hammer, and then poured some gasoline in it and ignited it.
So she broke into his house and was just going to burn it down, even though their places are connected in some way. Like I would think, I'm going to go out on a limb here. She's crazy. All right, she's a wild woman. She was going to burn down his place and then just hope her place didn't get burned at all?
Well, that part of it is surprising to me. I thought she was maybe just pouring like a small bit of gasoline. She was trying to burn just a little part of his house. But what you're saying is what happened. A massive explosion occurred that destroyed the entire apartment building. Catastrophic damage, and basically everyone who lives there now has to move.
And she was going to burn, was she going to light it, or like it already lit? Well, she was pouring gas around and it just like spontaneously exploded. Or she lit a match and didn't realize how big it was going to get.
Yeah. I don't even know if she lit the match. I think she ignited it before. I mean, I think it exploded before she was even ready.
It says she ignited it. So
Okay.
So yeah, she did. She thought she was I guarantee drugs are involved. So she was a mom. Were her kids involved? Were kids there? Were there any deaths besides her?
No.
Okay. So she was smart about it. I feel like this is a win for the dude. Because Greg, I'm your landlord. I've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is your apartment has exploded.
What?
Yeah. Everything's gone. Total loss. Insurance should cover it. The good news is, you know that bitch neighbor? She's dead.
I mean, that doesn't bring my apartment back.
But when it comes back, when we rebuild, it'll be better than ever because she's dead. She's not coming back. They can't rebuild her.
I did hate her.
Yeah. She wanted to kill you and everything you had. She wanted to burn it all, but she died. She killed herself.
Yeah, she was, not bad looking, this woman. But
Let me see.
I think she had anger issues. Give me a little
You think she had anger issues?
Yeah, it's sad. Well, it sounded like she was often yelling at her children too, and that was one of the reasons why he would always complain. She had gasoline residue on her pajamas that they found. She was in her pajamas. It was like 7 a.m. I don't know what the plan was here. It's definitely sad.
Sounds like a single mom at the end of her rope. I understand yelling at your kids. I bet those kids are no picnic, and I bet she's happy she's dead. And if you're going to kill yourself, you might as well go out trying to trash your neighbor's shit.
They did say she likely died within milliseconds of the explosion, that the force of the explosion probably sent her body flying against the wall. And that was it.
That's good. And a lot of people die in fire a lot. They breathe in, and the fire burns their lungs up immediately, and they die.
Anyways, here's the lady.
She looks like Melania. She looks like a chubby Melania.
Okay.
Melania Trump.
Yeah, there's no other Melanias. Every other Melania has changed her name.
That's a compliment.
That's the only one.
Say thank you.
You're welcome.
Say thank you. No, you're welcome.
Thank you. right, I can't believe our final story is true, but it is. An Amber Alert was issued last week for a missing 2-year-old boy in Florida. You can tell by the tone of my voice that, like, this is a tough one. Unfortunately, the boy was found a day later after the Amber Alert was issued, dead inside the body of an alligator. His father has been charged with murder.
Here's what I don't get. I understand this is tough for people. Like, oh, I have a kid. I would never do this. Oh, I have an alligator. Oh, I have a tortoise. It's buried in the backyard. Whatever. The kid goes missing. Okay, kid goes missing. It's sad. Kid found in an alligator. Sad. How did they arrest the dad? Sounds to me like the kid got eaten by an alligator. Isn't that like who's the perpetrator? Are they saying the dad was negligent, or the dad killed him and fed him to an alligator?
Don't know. I looked for that information. I think the suspicion is that the kid was killed and fed to an alligator, because the dad is also wanted for the murder of the kid's mom, and it seems like there's some pretty strong evidence that he showed up at the kid's mom's house where the kid was living. I don't think they didn't all live together, and the mom was murdered, and then they found the kid. And they knew that this guy believed this guy had murdered the mom, and then the kid was missing, and then they found the kid.
So they have the mom's body.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll feed the kid to the alligator, but not the mom. I still could see the guy being like, hey, yeah, I killed my wife. I killed the mom. But when I left, the kid was fine, just chilling with the alligator. They were just hanging out, and I had nothing to do with it. Like, was he...
I think that...
How did they know the alligator ate him?
I think you can be found criminally negligent for leaving your kid with an alligator, just in general.
It's possible.
It's a sad story. They actually found the kid. It's very cute. He was a very cute little kid. It sounds like just as the alligator was getting down to business, and they actually shot and killed the alligator, and the kid's body was intact. So
the alligator was eating the little boy, and they shot the alligator. So it wasn't like they found they opened up the alligator and the stomach was full of little boy. And was the little boy cut up, or was the little boy whole? And the little boy's dead. Dead little boy, whole.
Sounds like it says intact.
And how did they come across this?
Well, they were searching for it. Anyone in the surrounding area got an Amber Alert that they had been searching for a while, and I guess the alligator was not very far away. And the authorities said they're not sure if the alligator played a role in the death. And yeah, the animal was eventually. So
the alligator
killed.
And the cops found the kid at the same time, and the alligator just got there a little bit sooner, so the alligator had to die. Sounds unfair. Sounds unfair to the alligator. It sounds like the alligator had nothing to do with the little boy's death. He was just trying to eat something, trying to clean up.
You could say that the alligator was, what's the word, collateral damage here? A little bit.
Like it sounds like there's two victims.
An unfortunate bystander.
Both the little boy and the alligator, and also the mom. And now it's time for... Recommendation Station. Why did that story stick in your craw? Because a little boy? Because the alligator? We talk about dead kids all the time, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't know.
Maybe it was just the pictures. Were you trying to make a stuck in your craw joke? Because you landed on it, you know?
I just said it. It just happened to work out.
I'm going to recommend a book this week. It's a very short book. It's almost like a short story. I guess you would call it a novella. It's called Ms. Ice Sandwich by Mieko Kawakami.
Spell Ms. Ice Sandwich.
Ms. Ice Sandwich.
Like Ms. Like
M-M-M-S. Yeah, period. And then Ice Sandwich.
Ice Sandwich, one word? 2 words?
2 words. And yeah, we've recommended a few different books by Mieko Kawakami before. Breast and Eggs was by her. Heaven was by her. I read another book, All the Lovers in the Night, which was good. But all these books are very dark, a little depressing, I would say, about the struggle of about being a young person in Japan, a lot of alcoholism. And this book was the opposite, and maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. It was just so much lighter. It was about a kid who
Gets
kind of
eaten by an
becomes
alligator?
who kind of becomes fascinated with this crazy looking woman who serves sandwiches at the local grocery, who like wears this crazy eyeshadow, and he thinks she's like a total badass, but she kind of gets made fun of by other kids in school. The woman making the sandwiches is like 40-year-olds or whatever, but it's like a 80-90 page novella. It's kind of about being a kid and not really understanding how the adult world works, and slowly kind of figuring it out, and kind of making yourself put yourself into the world by saying hi to this Ms. Ice sandwich. But it's really smart and funny, and I really enjoyed it, and it was definitely a change of pace for her. It actually came out a long time ago, and I think was reissued because of her popularity. Ms. Ice Sandwich by Meiko Kawakami. I really enjoyed it. Might be my favorite thing she has written, but again, it's only like 80 or 90 pages, very quick read.
So does it make you like dislike her other work? If this is so different and it's your favorite?
No, and maybe it was just like a change of pace. No, the other works are probably more substantial. I really liked Heaven. You read that, right? Which is kind of about
I thought it was gonna be darker.
bullying.
Yeah,
This is pretty dark.
it's pretty dark, but I mean, I got.
Yeah,
I got
Breast
it.
and Eggs was maybe more. Did you read All the Lovers in the Night? That was the dark one. That was kind of about drinking and being single in the city. I don't know what it says. Maybe I just wanted a light read, but it was a nice surprise. It was
Cool.
great.
I'll check it out. My recommendation this week is also a book. I went nonfiction this week. It's a newer one called The Curse of the Marquis de Sade. The quote I had up top, which let me read it again because I loved it, is how many times, good God, have I not wished it were possible to attack the sun, to deprive the universe of it, or to use it to set the world ablaze? That is from, I want to say, 200 Days of Sodom? 100 Days of Sodom? Whatever the book is, the famous book he wrote on a scroll while he was in prison, the Marquis de Sade. This book it's called The Curse of the Marquis de Sade, a notorious scoundrel, a mythical manuscript, and the biggest scandal in literary history. It's by Joel Warner, and it's the story of the Marquis de Sade, which is fascinating. I didn't know that much about it. And then the story of the 200 Days of Sodom. What's the...
I don't know any of this stuff.
Let me look up
I don't
what
know
the actual
almost
thing
anything
is.
about the Marquis de Sade.
God damn it. Aaron, look it up for me. Is it 200 Days of Sodom?
I mean, this is where we could edit things out. But
No,
you
we're
just
not.
Don't like doing it.
People love it. Anyway, he wrote this. He was like
120 days.
120 Days of Sodom. That's right. The book not a lot of people have read, but it's so hard to read because it's just all like awful people doing awful shit, crazy sex, crazy crimes, and the guy yells that because he's like, "There's no we're running out of crimes to do. I wish I could burn the world." I love that. But it's the story of him writing it, story of what happened to him, and then the story of what happens to this scroll throughout history as people try to buy it, and the value goes up and down, and then it ends with like a big financial crime, kind of a Bernie Madoff of literature situation at the end. But it's all fascinating. Quick read, light read, and you learn a lot. So again, that's The Curse of the Marquis de Sade, a notorious scoundrel, a mythical manuscript, and the biggest scandal in literary history by Joel Warner. And that was Recommendation Station. Go Yukon. We're from the future and the past. The past. We'll see you next week for episode 200. Now, Walker, get us out of here.
Whoa, Nelly Furtado, that's a spicy meatball.